If you're ready now, the starting lineups tonight for the Montreal Expos. Leading off and playing left field will be Warren Cromartie. Batting second and playing second base, Dave Cash. Hitting third, the center fielder, Andre Dawson. In the cleanup spot and doing the Montreal catching, Gary Carter. Hitting number 5 at first base, Tony Perez. Batting sixth in right field, Ellis Valentine. Larry Parrish will bat seventh and play third base. Hitting eighth, the shortstop, Chris Spire. And batting ninth and pitching, right-hander Steve Rogers. Again for Montreal, it's Cromartie in left field, Cash at second base, and Dawson in center field. Carter catching, Perez at first base, Valentine in right. With Parrish at third, Spire at shortstop, and Rogers on the mound. For the Cincinnati Reds to lead it off tonight and needing only 2 base hits to reach the 3,000 hit mark in his career, third baseman Pete Rose. Batting second in right field, Ken Griffey. Hitting third, the second baseman Joe Morgan. Batting fourth, the left fielder George Foster. Danny Dreesen will bat fifth and play first base. Johnny Bench will do the catching. He'll bat sixth. Davey Concepcion will be at shortstop and bat seventh. Hitting eighth and playing center field, Cesar Geronimo. And batting ninth, the Cincinnati pitcher, right-hander Tom Hume. Once more, going over the Reds' batting order, it's Rose at third, Griffey in right field, and Morgan at second base. Foster in left, Dreesen at first base, Bench catching, with Concepcion at short, Geronimo in center, and Hume on the mound. We might tell you right now, and we'll be mentioning it a couple of more times tonight, that the Reds ticket offices advise us that all seats have been sold for tomorrow afternoon's uniform shirt day game between the Reds and the Expos. Plenty of seats are available for Sunday's doubleheader between the two teams. The Red Stadium ticket office will place on sale a limited number of standing room tickets for tomorrow's game beginning at 9 a.m. Once this supply is exhausted, no more standing room will be sold. The Reds stress the fact that plenty of tickets are still available for Sunday's doubleheader. First game will start Sunday afternoon at 1:15. But again, all seats have been sold for tomorrow afternoon's uniform shirt day game between the Reds and Montreal. Right now, with the Reds on the field, the playing of the 2 national anthems. copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority of Cincinnati Reds Incorporated and is intended solely for the private non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the descriptions and accounts of this game without the express written consent of Cincinnati Reds Incorporated is prohibited. The announcers on this broadcast are employed by the Cincinnati Reds Incorporated. Well, Joe, we kick off a 4-game weekend against Montreal, and on this night, Friday, May 5th, it could be a historic evening for one number 14, Pete Rose.
Well, we're certainly looking forward to it, Marty. It's, you think of all the times that Pete has stepped to the plate, and when you add it all up with 2 hits tonight, it could mean 3,000, the 13th man in the history of this game to do it. Quite an honor, and for Pete, you just have to feel he's going to do it tonight. You just wonder how the man feels. Pete is very an active individual in the sense of playing this game, but you wonder how active he is inside right now, knowing that the night that he could do it. I'm sure it's a tremendous feeling inside of Pete Rose, knowing him. Even he accepts challenges and excitement and whatever very easily, but I believe this might be something that might have Pete a little stirred up inside.
Absolutely. I don't think there's a whole lot of doubt at all about that. And, boy, I'll tell you, if confidence will get it done, you talk to Pete, and he is convinced that tonight will be the night, whether it be Steve Rogers, if he should give up the 3,000th hit, or whoever it might be. Pete Rose thinks that this night will be the evening. We'll see. Tommy Hume is hoping to get himself on track. He, of course, came out of the gate very quickly, winning his first 2 games, but since then has dropped 3 straight, 2 to the Dodgers and 1 to the New York Mets. He's ready to go to work now against the leadoff batter, Cromartie, and the first pitch is a fastball high, and this game is underway. Left-handed batter, Warren Cromartie, batting .213 with a couple of RBIs. The 1-0 pitch is cut on and hammered in the air, foul off the left side, and out of play as Rose gives chase. They talked in spring training that Montreal might well be the most improved team in the National League with the additions of pitchers Rudy May and Ross Grimsley and reliever Darrell Knowles. And right now, as we start play tonight, they lead the East by 1/2 game with their record of 12 wins and 8 losses. The 1-1 is bunted foul off third. So Tommy Hume is ahead at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Cromartie, Cash, and Dawson here in the top of the first inning. Tommy Hume making his 6th start of the year. No complete games, an earned run average. It stands at exactly 6. He's ahead of the leadoff batter, Cromartie, 1-2, and pitching. Ground ball to the right side. Morgan on the second hop. Throws on to Dreesen. 1 away. Cromartie out, second to first, and here's the second baseman, Dave Cash. Always one of the better hitters and leadoff batters in the National League. Of course, this season he is batting behind Cromartie, but that has not hurt his bat to any degree because he comes into this series batting .338. He's homered once with 6 RBIs, and he takes the first pitch low and outside. Andre Dawson in the on-deck circle. Hume ready with a 1-0 delivery. Cash swings, line drive, right center. Geronimo plays him almost perfectly, and he makes the catch. So with 2 down and Dawson coming up, we'll check out the Reds defensively. It's Dreesen and Morgan on the right side of the infield. Concepcion and Rose on the left side. The outfield has Foster in left. Geronimo just catching Cash's line out. He's in center. And the right fielder is Ken Griffey with Johnny Bench behind the plate. 2 away. Andre Dawson, .250 a batting average with 3 homers and 12 RBIs. Last year's Rookie of the Year in the National League. He takes the ball from Hume. Tommy studies his sign. He kicks and he fires. That swung on and missed. And the count evens at 1. Gary Carter on deck as Tom Hume tries to enjoy a perfect first inning. He's gotten Cromartie on a ground ball second. He's gotten Cash on a fly ball center. 1 ball, 1 strike. The pitch on the way, and that strike 2 swinging as he got him to go after a pitch out away from him. Jerry Dale, our plate umpire. At first base, John McSherry. At second, Paul Runge. At third, Bob Engel. 2 down, a 1-2 count on the batter as Dawson calls time, gets a firm footing with that back right foot, waves the bat around, and now waits on Hume's next pitch. He checks his swing on the pitch that just missed away. 2-2. Outfield playing Dawson much as they do Cash to hit the other way. He swings and fouls this one off to the right. Foster almost playing Dawson in left center field. Geronimo shading him well toward right, and Ken Griffey pretty much straight away in right field. Count holding at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's Hume with a break-even pitch, and it's fouled out back and on a play. This ball club is going to score a lot of runs this season, and so far they've gotten some fine pitching, this Montreal team. 2-2 pitch, ball 3. Tom effectively keeping the ball out away from Dawson. The 2 strikes that he has against him have come on pitches well away from the right-handed batter, but now ready and pitching to 3-2. And that's strike 3 call. Took something off the fastball and laid it right over the heart of the plate. The Expos are out in order. After a half inning of play at Riverfront, Montreal nothing, and the Reds are coming to bed. Well, a big weekend of baseball continues here at Riverfront tomorrow afternoon and Sunday afternoon. As we announced earlier, all seats have been sold for tomorrow's Uniform Shirt Day game between the Reds and the Expos. A limited number of standing room tickets will go on sale at 9 o'clock. Looking ahead to Sunday, we want to advise that plenty of seats are still available for the afternoon doubleheader. The stadium ticket office opens at 9 a.m. on Sunday. Gates open at 11:15. Come early for batting practice. That's the Reds and the Expos and a big doubleheader here Sunday afternoon. Veteran right-hander Steve Rogers, former All-American out of the University of Tulsa. He's 2-3 this season in 5 starts. And boy, I'll tell you, while we were away during the commercial break, they started clapping, they started standing. When he came out of the dugout, they stood almost in unison and gave him a standing ovation. That, of course, according to Pete Rose, who now stands in to lead off the home first.
Well, Marty, with that kind of reaction, you wonder really what's going through Steve Rogers' mind right now also.
A very, very good point.
I doubt if he's experienced anything like that with the first man out.
Well, here's the first pitch to Pete, and it's taken high for ball 1. Rose batting .317 with 3 homers and 14 RBIs. A 1-0 pitch, and that's low. 2 balls and no strikes. I don't think Steve Rogers is going to be a very popular fellow should he walk Rose here to begin the inning. Certainly not intending to walk Pete, but this crowd wouldn't be too thrilled. The 2-0 coming, and that's in at the letters for a call strike. 2-1. Montreal out in the top of the first inning in order. Rose, Griffey, and Morgan here in the bottom of the first. Rogers sights a sign from Carter, the 2-1 pitch. Swung on, line drive, left field. That's going to be caught by, he dropped the ball. So Marty drops the ball in left field, and now Rose heading towards second. He's going to be safe. Warren Cromartie dropping Pete Rose's fly ball in left field. And Rose going to second. He begins the bottom of the first inning by going all the way to second on a ball that Cromartie drops in left. And that's going to be a 2-base error on Warren Cromartie, much to the displeasure of the crowd, but I'll tell you, a clear-cut error.
Marty, that was... Pete hit the ball hard, but it really was an easy play for Cromartie, but I think the ball was wet out there, and when he threw it back to the infield, he had a little altitude to the throw.
Here's Ken Griffey, and he takes a pitch outside. The throw went to Perez, and Pete was halfway between first and second when Tony got the ball and threw quickly on to Dave Cash. Rose went into second with that patented head-first slide of his. Griffey batting .330 with 2 homers and 9 RBIs. Reds trying to score in the first inning. Rogers checks Rose at second, the 1-0 pitch. Swung on and fouled back. 1 ball and 1 strike. Cincinnati begins play tonight, one full game behind the Dodgers. The Reds, of course, had yesterday off. L.A. played and won in Chicago 4-1, and they open up a series against Chuck Tanner's Pirates tonight with Bert Hooton going for the Dodgers against Bert Blyleven. Rose edges off the second base bag. The pitch missing outside and low, 2-1. Rogers has been up and down so far this season. He can be one of the better pitchers in the league when he's right, but has been inconsistent with his control. He'll have a good day, he'll have a bad day. 3 starts ago, developed a blister on the right forefinger, but he says that is cleared up completely now and should not cause him any problems. Pitch is fouled out of play, bringing the count even at 2-2. Joe Morgan next up for the Reds. Pete Rose has opened the game. A line drive to left that Warren Cromartie dropped. Pete went to second. Griffey, the National League hit leader with 33, hoping to make it 34 at the expense of Steve Rogers and get Pete in with the game's first run. Here's a pitch. That is laced into left field. That one is going to be caught on the run by Cromartie. This time he hung on to it. Rose holding at second base, and with one away, here's Joe Morgan. This reminder, the next Cincinnati Reds team night is coming up Friday, May 19th, when the Reds meet the Padres. Bargain prices for young persons and a high school home run hitting contest will precede the game. Morgan batting .266. But he has knocked in 19 runs and has hit 4 home runs. Rogers taking a lot of time as he looks for the sign from Gary Carter. Now the backward glance at second, and the pitch to the plate. Swung on, a high fly ball. Hit down the right field line. Valentine goes to foul ground, leaping up. He cannot make the play, and it'll be a 1-strike count on Morgan. Here's how the Expos look defensively with Tony Perez at first, Davey Cash at second. The shortstop is Chris Fire, and the third baseman is Larry Parrish. Their outfield has Warren Cromartie in left. The center fielder is Andre Dawson. Alice Valentine is in right, and Gary Carter's behind the plate. I think Dave Cash was complaining to John McSherry that Morgan should have been out, feeling that a fan reached over the railing and interfered with Valentine trying to play the ball, but the ball was in well back into the seats. 1 out, 1 on. Morgan takes a strike, and he's behind at 0-2. George Foster will be up next. Steve Rogers into his stretch and his pitch. That's just high for a ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Of course, in case you missed the word, the Reds announced yesterday that Paul Mosco had been recalled from Indianapolis. Mike Grace had been sent back to that AAA club. And Paul will be one of the starting pitchers in the Sunday afternoon doubleheader here against the Expos. Low inside, 2-2. Tomorrow, Tom Seaver will go against Rudy May. The starters for Montreal on Sunday, Wayne Twitchell and apparently Hal Dews. I think Dick Williams has decided to give Ross Grimsley one more day of rest after he threw 138 pitches in his win against Houston on Wednesday night. Here's the ball foul back. They had originally announced Grimsley or Hal Dews, and right now the word apparently is that it's going to be Dews and Twitchell. And the Reds will not see Grimsley in this series. Morgan with a 2-2 count. Pete Rose is out at second, 1 away. We're in the bottom of the first. Rogers back to the plate, and Morgan fouls it out of play, off to the left. Joe has had at least 1 walk in each of his last 8 games. He has walked a total of 17 times this season. So projecting that figure over a full year, you have to expect that he's going to have another 100-plus base-on-ball season. He leads the club in that department. Again, the 2-2. And just missed inside. Boy, Rogers wanted it, and I think Gary Carter did too, feeling that the ball got the inside corner, but Morgan watching him over closely. And that's now 3 balls and 2 strikes on the Red second baseman. Morgan steps away from the plate. Rogers continuing to take a lot of time between pitches. Now he's ready to go. The payoff. That is hammered to right field, but it will be caught by Ellis Valentine. Boy, I'll tell you, the Reds have hit 3 balls right on the button. Off of Steve Rogers. Rose on a ball that Cromartie dropped in left. Griffey lined to left, and Morgan now lines to right. 2-out batter is George Foster. George hitting .333. Last year, tattooed Montreal pitching at a .320 clip. Hit 5 of his 52 home runs against him and 17 of his 149 RBIs versus his club. Homered 4 times this season and has driven in 13 runs. So Rogers battling to leave Rose stranded at second. After Pete got there leading off the inning. 2 lineouts make Foster a 2-out hitter. The pitch to him at the knees, strike 1 call. Danny Dreesen would follow should Foster keep the inning going. Rogers with that straight-up stretch motion of his. Foster grounds 1 to second. Cash makes a pickup and gets his man at first base. In the first for Cincinnati, no runs, no hits, an error. 1 man left on. We've completed 1. The Reds nothing and the Expos nothing. No score at the end of 1 inning of play. Here in the second, Tom Hume will be working to the middle third of the Montreal batting order, and they will be Gary Carter, Tony Perez, and Ellis Valentine. Had a rain out this afternoon in the National League. The Chicago Cubs and the San Francisco Giants. Vida Blue was scheduled to go after his 4th consecutive win in that one, but the Giants and the Cubs rained out at Wrigley Field. Tonight, Houston at Atlanta, Necro against Easterly, New York at Philadelphia, Espinosa facing Lonborg. We gave you the Dodger Pirate pitchers. And San Diego will be at St. Louis. Dave Price, Levin against John Denny. Gary Carter batting .267 with 3 homers and 17 runs batted in. This young man, one of the most personable players in all of Major League Baseball, always willing to talk. He takes a high and outside fastball. Hume with a 1-0, and Carter takes it low, ball 2, 2-0. Two balls, no strikes. Count on Gary Carter leading off the second. He takes the strike, 2-1. Tony Perez kneeling in the on-deck circle. Good crowd here tonight. Reds hoping to have a big weekend before the New York Mets come to town on Monday night. Swing and a miss. Carter was spinning on a pitch up and did not get it. 2-2. Gary hit his first career Grand Slam home run in Wednesday night's victory over the Houston Astros up in Montreal. All told, he had 5 RBIs, and that tied a personal high set last September against St. Louis. This one, a pitch in on him, and he bounces it into the Expos dugout. He is behind his pace of last year in terms of home runs. Last year at this time, he had 7. Right now, he has 3, but he's up as far as RBIs are concerned, 17-11. There's ball 3. A breaking ball high and inside. 3-2 on Carter. Hume retiring Cromartie, Cash, and Dawson in order in the first inning. His payoff pitch to Carter is swung on and hit down the left field line, but curving into the seats, a foul ball. Count holds at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Carter climbing back in the batter's box, and Hume presents a payoff pitch again. This one's foul back. I've got a newcomer on the Montreal coaching staff this season, and he was located in the third base coaching box, Norm Sherry. an additional coach on the Montreal staff this season. There's ball 4, so Tommy Hume losing Gary Carter on a 3-2 pitch high and inside. First Montreal base runner for first baseman Tony Perez. He still has a tremendous following in this city, as you no doubt can tell from the reaction in the background. Off to a somewhat slow start, but that's nothing new for Tony, batting .213 with 6 RBIs. He'll be there when the season ends. You can bet on that. He swings and pops it foul, but Johnny Bench will not have a play on it. It'll fall back into the seats. Tony, a warm weather player, and he'll be the first one to tell you that, and warm weather is something they have not had any at all of up in Montreal here in the early going. Well, he's looking for that temperature to get over the 80-degree mark and feels like that'll cure a lot of ills. Strike 2 call. Cincinnati infield, a double play depth as Carter has walked to begin the inning. We're scoreless in the top of the second. Perez smashes one up the middle and into center field for a base hit. Carter will go to second and stop right there as we pause for station identification on the Cincinnati Reds Baseball Network.
For sports of all kinds, you need 94 KTG. High school and University of Kentucky football and basketball, Cincinnati Reds and high school baseball, the Indianapolis 500, the Southern 500 are here on WKTG, Madisonville, Kentucky.
Well, the Expos making noise here in the second inning. They put their first 2 on. Carter with a walk, Perez with a single to center. Right fielder Ellis Valentine carries a .328 batting average to the plate with a homer and 8 RBIs. Last year hit .293 for this team with 25 homers, and he knocked in 76 runs. One of the fine young players in the National League, Ellis Valentine. He shoots it foul and out of play to the right. Carter second, Perez first, none out. Valentine at the plate with Parrish on deck. Hume with a pause at the belt and the strike 1 pitch. That is hit very high in the air to shallow right center field. Ken Griffey with plenty of time to get there, and he makes the catch. 1 out, and the batter will be third baseman Larry Parrish. Follow the Cincinnati Reds on the Reds Radio Network. 3 network stations are WGAT in Gate City, Virginia, WHIR in Danville, Kentucky, and WHOK in Lancaster, Ohio. Tomorrow afternoon, Uniform Shirt Day, and then we wrap up the series with our first doubleheader of the year beginning at 1:15 on Sunday. Parrish batting .278 with 12 RBIs. Missing outside, ball 1. He came out of the gate smoking this season, and he was up among the top 10 hit leaders in the National League. They say that he really had a super winter season. He swings and fouls, and the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. And you ask the question, what's different from Larry Parrish now than from what we've seen the last couple of years? He used to have an almost straight-up batting stance. Now he's gone to a bit of a crouch, and he's going with a pitch, so to speak. He will use all feels rather than trying to pull the ball as he had been guilty of in the past. Swing and foul out of play. You'll note that he has not hit a home run this season, but in Larry's new way of thinking, that doesn't make any difference because he thinks he's finally solved the problems that he's had in the past and hopes that it will make him a much better hitter overall. Tommy Hume trying to get out of a second inning jam with 2 men on, now 1 man out following the fly out of Valentine to right. Hume is ready with his next pitch, and here it is. Parrish was able to hold up as Tommy tried to get him to go after a bad pitch outside. 2-2. Parrish waiting on the 2-2 pitch. Swung on. Fly ball. Right center. Griffey will be there to make the catch. Carter tags, and he's going to move on to third base. 2 away in the inning as the Expos now show him on the corners for shortstop Chris Spire. Former San Francisco Giant beginning his first full year with Montreal. He came over last year in a 1-for-1 swap involving Tim Foley, who of course now plays for the New York Mets. Spire hitting .284. He's homered twice and has 10 RBIs. Johnny Bench has gone to the mound, had started back to the plate, and now goes back out there again to join Dave Concepcion and Tom Hume. That meeting breaking up. And now Spire hoping to come up with a big 2-out base hit that would send his club out in front. He grounds one into right field, and that's a base hit. Gary Carter comes in to score as Griffey returns the ball to the infield, and Montreal takes a 1-0 lead. Spire hitting the first pitch thrown to him on the ground into right field, and the Expos jump out in front.
Marty, I don't know, but John went out to the mound, and I would have to say that he probably reminded Tom not to give in to Chris Spire, that the pitcher was coming up, but it didn't take long.
No, it didn't, and that's been part of the problem that Tommy Hume has had in the last 3 games, which have all resulted in losses. He now faces the pitcher Steve Rogers. He swings and hits a broken bat 2-hopper to first. Danny Dreesen goes to the bag for the putout, and that's the inning. But for Montreal, they get 1 run on 2 base hits. 2 men left on, and at the end of an inning and a half, the Expos lead the Reds 1-0. If you're going to be at Riverfront this weekend to see the Reds and the Expos, how about planning a side trip to the ball club's 580 gift shop before or after the game? 580 is located in downtown Cincinnati at the corner of 6th and Walnut in the 580 building. The Reds gift shop is open before and after the ball game on Saturday and Sunday. You'll find lots of great Reds gift items and souvenirs. So stop by the next time you're in downtown Cincinnati. And if you can't get to 580, just call or write the Reds office at Riverfront for a 580 mail order form. Montreal up a run as we come calling in the bottom of the second, and the man who will lead off the inning currently is involved in a 9-game hitting streak, Dan Dreesen. Batting .326 during the streak, he has hit .359 with 14 hits and 39 times up. Rogers with a nice job in the first after Cromartie dropped Rose's line drive. Pete going to second, but he retired Griffey, Morgan, and Foster. He drops a curve that stays high for ball 1. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike. Dreesen, well, you think back to last year when he started the year out after having that growing pull in spring training, and it was a while before he was able to get himself on track. He swings again on the pitch and doesn't get it, and he's behind at 1-2. This year, injury-free when the bell rang, and the numbers have certainly indicated that. Rogers throws, and Dreesen takes a high fastball. 2-2. Right-hander rocks on the mound, delivers. Danny strikes out swinging. It's going to be the first strikeout for Rogers. 1 gone in the inning for Johnny Bench. American League games tonight will have Chicago at Boston, Minnesota at Baltimore. That's 0-0, by the way, at the end of 2.5 with Jeff Zahn against Mike Flanagan. Texas scoreless in the top of the first inning at Yankee Stadium. John Matlack against Ron Guidry. Kansas City at Milwaukee, Detroit at Oakland, Cleveland at California, and Toronto at Seattle. Bench swing and a miss. Talking earlier about the Montreal pitching, they can throw a pretty potent starting rotation out against you. Bench again swings and misses. Rogers here in the second throwing bullseyes. A strikeout of Danny Dreesen, and now 2 strikes out in front on Bench. Rogers, Rudy May we see tomorrow. Wayne Twitchell, Ross Grimsley. 1 ball, 2 strikes. If this club has a problem, Actually, they feel it's two. One, a somewhat questionable bullpen core, and the lack of some left-handed sock. Bench swings and fouls Carter. Well, let's see. Apparently he's out. It looked like, well, Carter dropped the ball. There's no question about that. But apparently John's bat hit his glove.
Right, Marty, I think on the follow-through of the swing, I believe John might have knocked the ball from Carter's glove.
So that'll go down as a strikeout swinging and gives Rogers back-to-back punch-outs in the second. 2 down for Davy Concepcion. Davy hitting .282 with a homer and 12 runs batted in. Montreal 1, Cincinnati nothing. Early in the game, we're in the bottom of the second. David bluffs a bunt and takes a strike at the knees. Off-speed pitch misses low. 1 ball, 1 strike to the red shortstop with Cesar Geronimo coming up next. Rogers delivers. Davy takes a high and tight curveball, 2-1. Outfield straight away for Concepcion, or just about straight away. Cromartie shading him toward the gap in left center as Davy swings and he misses, and he spun around like a top on that pitch. 2-2. In case you just joined us, Rose in the first inning, line to left. Cromartie dropped the ball for a 2-base error. And we'll keep you in touch with what Pete's doing tonight as Davy fouls it down the right side and out of play. Pete needing 2 base hits to reach 3,000 in his career. Had a couple here on Wednesday night against the Philadelphia Phils. And he feels like tonight's going to be the night. We'll see. Certainly you got to like his chances over the weekend, not tonight. Holding count of 2 balls and 2 strikes on Concepcion with 2 out. Davy takes it just outside and a full count. Here comes a payoff pitch, and he fouls this one back. Point out the fact that Rogers will not oftentimes walk many people. He has issued 13 walks in 33 innings coming into the game tonight, and has given up a like number of base hits, 33 hits, 33 innings. Swing and a miss. He has just dealt the Reds an impressive second with strikeouts of Dreesen, Bench, and Concepcion all swinging. So at the end of 2 complete, Montreal 1 and Cincinnati nothing. Move on to the third inning. Montreal holding a 1-0 lead over the Reds, and Tommy Hume will be facing the top of the EXPOS batting order. Warren Cromartie heading toward the plate. Here to call the play-by-play for you, Joe Nuxall.
All right, Marty. Cromartie in the first inning bounced to Joe Morgan at first base. Bad news? Well, I guess it's bad. The Dodgers just scored 5 times in the first inning in Pittsburgh off Bert Blyleven, Dusty Baker a home run. Tommy Hume has given up 2 hits, has struck out 1, walked 1. His first pitch to Cromartie is low ball. Cromartie off to a bad start. Starts hitting .213 with 2 RBIs, 4 doubles. Left-handed batter. The pitch is swung on and hit into center field. Geronimo waiting on it, and Chief has it 1 away. Dave Cash steps in. Cash line to Geronimo in right center field in the first inning. Dave, .338 batting average. Cash usually around the 200 mark in base hits for the year, and he has 26 thus far here in the 78th season. Dave has driven in 6 runs, 7 doubles and 2 triples. The Reds outfield around to the right for Cash. A lot of room for Dave down the left field line. waiting on Cash to settle in. Now Dave's in, and Hume looks to bench for a sign. A wind, the pitch. Swung on, bounced right back to Tommy. He throws on to Dreesen, and quickly 2 away. Two down, and that brings Andre Dawson to the plate. Dawson called out on strikes in the first inning on a 3-2 pitch. Dawson a .250 batting average with 3 home runs, 12 RBIs. The on-deck batter with 2 out, Gary Carter. Hume delivers, Dawson takes. Low and inside, an off-speed pitch. First of 4 of the Expos tomorrow afternoon, and then the first doubleheader of the season Sunday. Slinging a fly ball, right field along the line. Griffey going over, and that's going to go foul and back into the seats. Count even 1-1 now to Andre Dawson. Expos 12-8 for the year, playing their 21st game. The Reds in their 24th. Dawson back to the plate. Outfield for Andres. Straight away. All right, the 1-1. Swung on, chopped foul. A breaking ball. That went into the Montreal dugout. A ball, 2 strikes to Dawson. Hume has his sign, and the 1-2. Swung on and missed. Got him with a breaking ball, low and away, and strikeout number 2 for Hume as he sets the Expos down in order in the third, nothing across, and at the middle of inning number 3, Montreal 1, Cincinnati nothing. For the Reds in the bottom half of the third, it'll be Geronimo, Hume, and Pete Rose. Geronimo hitting .308 with 2 home runs, 13 RBIs. Had 6 doubles and 1 triple. The Reds had 1 base runner against Rogers through the first 2 innings. That was Pete Rose, who reached second base on a 2-base error by Cromartie in left field. Rogers 3-5 lifetime against the Reds. Last year he was 1-1. On the year this year, he's 1-2 and lost 3. Delivers to Geronimo, and the Chief takes a breaking ball high and outside. Tommy Hume on deck. Parrish at the end line at third base. The outfield about straight away. The pitch. Check swing, and it's high. 2 balls, no strikes. Anything, the Montreal outfield shading Geronimo just a few steps around to the left. 2-0 the count. The pitch swung on and fouled. Straight back, 2-1. Last year, Geronimo hit .341 against the Expos. Rogers checking with his catcher, Gary Carter. And the 2-1 delivery. That's high. 3 balls to strike to the Chief. Now the 3-1. That's a strike call. Full count to Geronimo. Rogers struck out 3, all 3 in the second inning. Here's the payoff. High ball 4. First walk issued by Steve Rogers. Geronimo draws it, leading off here in the third, and Tommy Hume the batter. Tom 0 for 10 on the year, but has had a couple of sacrifice bunts. And that's exactly what he'll be called on to do right here with Geronimo at first base. Parrish moving in at third base, and we'll see Perez charging at first. Rogers the stretch, and the pitch. Hume squares the bunt, pops it up. Carter might have a play, running, can't get to it. Back near the screen, and Carter Could not quite get there. Call a strike to Tommy Hume. Reds, of course, Wednesday night, getting the Phillies 12-3. Freddie Norman getting his 4th straight win of the year. 0-1 the count. Geronimo at first leads. Rogers to the belt. Checks Geronimo. Hume squares the bunt and takes strike 2. Count 0-2 to Hume as he looks to Alex Grammas, and Alex flashes another sign. See if Hume will be bunting again. Rogers ready, and the pitch. Hume squares the bunt and takes it outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Both Perez and Parrish charging the lines. Rogers has his sign. Sets and delivers. Hume squares the bunt, does first base side. Good bunt. Perez will play it back to Cash at first base. So a good job by Tommy Hume as he moves Geronimo on to second base. And here he is. Pete Rose, Pete in the first inning, lined hard to Cromartie in left field. Cromartie dropping the ball and being charged with a 2-base error. And you can hear the fan reaction in the background, and it's charged up for Pete tonight. Pete with 32 hits on the year now stands, of course, 2 away from the 3,000 mark. 13th man to do it. Swings on the first pitch. Could be trouble. A high chopper. Rogers has it. Bobbles the ball. And another tough scoring decision for the official score tonight. And we'll wait and see. And that's going to be a base hit. And he has 1 more to go. They're going to credit Pete with a base hit. And that's number 2,999. High chopper off the plate, just a bit to the left of the mound and behind it. Rogers got the ball and tried to rush his throw, which is what he had to do if he had a chance at Rose at all. So Pete now with 2,999 base hits. Geronimo on to third base, Rose at first, and the batter, Ken Griffey. Griffey lined hard to Cromartie in the first inning in left field. Kenny leads the club in base hits, but now is tied with Rose. Pete now with 33, same number as Griffey. Outfield will play Kenny straight away. Runners on the corners. Rogers delivers. Griffey takes it high and outside a ball. Geronimo at third, Rose at first. 1 out. The stretch by Rogers. And the pitch. That's a check swing. Throw down to third, and Geronimo backhands first. Now 2 balls, no strikes to Griff. Morgan on deck. Gary Carter not afraid to throw that baseball. You've got to be heads up on base with Mr. Carter. 2 balls, no strikes. Rogers has his sign. And the 2-0. Swung on and fouled out of play to the left. 2 balls, a strike now to Griffey. Rogers rubbing up the baseball, now steps onto the pitching rubber and looks into his catcher, Gary Carter. Has his sign to the belt, 2-1 on the way. Griffey swings on it and pops it foul down the left field line. That'll curve back into the seats. The count even at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two to Ken Griffey. Official score tonight, Earl Lawson. I'll tell you, he's had a couple of tough decisions to make on Pete. The one in the first inning, which was called on there, and rightly so, and then the chopper here in the third inning, Pete's 2,999th base hit. Here's the 2-2 to Griffey. Kenny swings ground ball. Perez has it. He's going to come to the plate. They got Geronimo. Carter puts the tag on him as the Chief stops, and runners now at first and second with two away, and the batter Joe Morgan. So Griffey on to the fielder's choice. Rose moves on to second, and Geronimo is out. Perez to Carter with the second out of the inning. Joe Morgan lined hard to Valentine in right field in the first inning. Joe, a .266 batting average, 4 home runs, 19 RBIs. Rogers delivers. Morgan checks his swing and a foul to plate. 0-1. Montreal outfield playing Joe around to the right. Chris Fired, shortstop, and Parrish at third. Pulled around toward the second base bag on the left side of the infield. Cash about straight away at second. 0-1 the count to Morgan. Griffey at first base. Rose at second. Expos leading 1-0 here in the third inning. Rogers sets his pitch. That's a strike call, and it's 0-2 to Morgan as Rogers got the outside corner. On to the count. Rose leads at second, Griffey at first. Rogers the 0-2. Morgan takes it high and inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Steve with a sinking fastball, and when he's right, it's pretty tough to get a ball in the air off him. He's a ball, 2 strikes with Joe Morgan. Let's back off the pitching rubber and checks out the baseball. Now he goes to his forehead to get a little moisture, and now he looks into Carter for the sign. Nods the okay. The stretch and the pitch. Curveball, strike 3 call. Dropped it on the outside corner, and that's 4 strikeouts for Rogers. So the Reds in the inning, no runs, a hit, no errors, 2 runners left on base, and we've completed 3 innings here at Riverfront, and it's Montreal 1, Cincinnati 0. All right, Gary Carter will lead it off for the Expos in the fourth. Gary walked in the second and scored the 1 run. First pitch to him is swung on and missed. A slider away. Carter hitting .267. He leads the Expos in RBIs with 17 and has 3 home runs along with 5 doubles. Carter, right-handed batter. Bench hangs the sign and the 0-1. Curveball is low. 1 ball, 1 strike to Carter. Carter, Perez, and Valentine here in the fourth for the Expos. Outfield very deep for Gary. Give him room in right center. 1-1 delivery. That bounces 3 feet in front of the plate, and it's 2-1 to Carter. Gary Dale inspects the baseball and puts another in play. Count 2 balls a strike. Hume winds and delivers. That's swung on and fouled straight back and up into the Red seats. Count even at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Hume, the 2-2. Swung on and a very high pop. Dave Concepcion, a couple of steps in center field behind the back line to make the play. 1 away, and the batter will be Tony Perez. Tony got the first hit of the game, a clean single up the middle in the second inning. Tony hitting .213 with the base hit. He's up to .224. Hume delivers, and it's on the inside corner. Called strike. Perez leading away from the breaking ball, but a called strike by Jerry Dale, and Tony says, "Hey, wait a minute." The 0-1. Swung on, ground ball. Pete has it at third. His throw on to Dreesen, and 2 away. Two away, that'll bring Ellis Valentine, the Montreal right fielder, to the plate. Valentine, a fly ball to Griffey in shallow right in the second inning. Ellis hitting .328 with a home run and 8 RBIs. Well, you talk about arms on outfielders. This guy possesses one of the best, along with his center fielder, Andre Dawson. Fastball low and outside. Hume back to the plate. Dawson swings and hits it to right field. Going back, Griffey. That could be trouble. Kenny to the fence, and that one's out of here. And that's Valentine's second home run of the year, and the Expos lead it by a score of 2-0. Third hit of the game for Montreal. Two away. Valentine hits his second home run of the year to the opposite field, and the Expos lead 2-0. And the batter, Larry Parrish. He takes high ball. Parrish, a fly ball to Griffey in right field in the second inning. Now the National Club are a Double-A team in the Southern League. There's a strike, a breaking ball, 1-1. Won the first game of a doubleheader tonight behind Rick O'Keefe, beating Jacksonville 1-0 on 2 hits. Rick O'Keefe, a young left-hander that we got from the two-one delivery. Swung on. That ball's hit well to left field, and it's 3-0. Ball hitting in the first row of green seats. So with 2 out, back-to-back home runs here by Valentine and Parrish, and it's a 3-0 ball game. For Parrish, his first home run of the year. Hume looked like hanging a slider, and Parrish took care of it in grand fashion. All right, here's Chris Spire, the Montreal shortstop. Chris drove in the first Expo run with a single to right. He takes a strike from Hume at the knees on the inside corner. 3-0, Montreal leading. Hume delivers, and Spire takes. Curveball down low. 1-1. Pitcher Steve Rogers on deck with 2 out. Hume works. That's swung on and fouled. The ball 2 strikes to Spire. Inning started off with Carter popping out to Concepcion and Tony Perez bouncing to Rose. But then Valentine, a home run to right, and Parrish pulling one into the first row of green seats in the left to make it a 3-0 game. The 1-2 to Spire. That's swung on and fouled back at Brenneman as he ducks. You're supposed to catch him, man.
I'm supposed to what?
Catch him. Or something.
They don't pay me to catch baseball.
Well, then I'm gonna get you a mask.
How about a suit of armor?
Okay. I saw one on the way down today. Your size.
Yeah.
All right, again the 1-2 to Spire. He takes it just under the knees, and the count evens 2 balls, 2 strikes. I had been looking, I thought that might have hit you in the wallet. All right, the 2-2. That's lined in the left field, and Foster over will play it on the bounce. And hit number 5 for the Expos. 3 straight after 2 out here in the 4th inning. Spire's second base hit of the game. That'll bring the pitcher, Steve Rogers, to the plate. Rogers ended the second inning by bouncing to Dreesen at first base. Steve, a right-handed batter. Hume sets and delivers, and Rogers swings in a foul tip out of the mid of bench. Montreal leading 3-0. Back-to-back home runs here in the 4th inning with 2 out by Valentine and Parrish. Runs 2 and 3. The 0-1. Rogers swings and bounces it to Morgan. Joe has it. Tossing on to Dreesen, and that's the inning. But the Expos get 2 runs on 3 hits. With no errors, a runner left on base, and at the middle of the 4th, Montreal 3, Cincinnati nothing. Well, the Reds trail the Expos 3-0 as they bat in the bottom half of the 4th inning. It'll be Foster, Dreesen, and bench. George grounded to Cash in the first inning to end the inning. George, a .333 batting average with 4 home runs, 13 RBIs. Foster has had 24 hits and now 79 times to the plate this year. Only Griffey and Rose have been to the plate more than 100 times. Kenny, with the 2 times up tonight, has been up 102 times, and Pete has been now up 103 times. The Reds with 1 hit off Rogers, and that 1 hit Pete Rose, 2,999. All right, Rogers delivers to Foster. It's swung on and bounced to Parrish deep at third. His long throw to Perez, 1 away. One out, that brings Danny Dreesen to the plate. Danny struck out in the second inning leading off, an inning which saw Rogers strike out all 3 batters. Dreesen, Bench, and Concepcion. Dan, a .326 batting average, now .322 with 3 home runs, 15 RBIs. Rogers delivers, and Dreesen swings and pops it up. Foul territory. Carter off of the mask, Parrish coming on, but Carter waves everybody away, and Gary makes the play along the third baseline in foul territory. So Rogers, 2 pitches, 2 outs here in the 4th inning. And the batter is Johnny Bench. John struck out in the second. Apparently, Parrish a little upset with Gary Carter for taking charge of the ball when most ball clubs like the infielders who catch most pop-ups that they can get to him comfortably. A swing and a miss by Bench on a fastball up and in. John hitting .301. He's had 5 home runs, leads the club in that department with 14 RBI. The 0-1. Curveball low and outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Rogers delivers on the outside edge, but a bit low. 2-1. 2 out, the base is empty. 2-1 the count to Bench. Montreal outfield straight away to John. Cash pulled a bit toward left at second base. The pitch swung on, hit well to left center field, and that could be number 6, and is. Johnny Bench got on a high breaking ball and hit a shot out of here just to the right of the .375 marker in left center field, and the Reds are on the scoreboard. Two out. That'll bring Dave Concepcion to the plate. Dave struck out in the second inning. Rogers works. Concepcion takes under the knees the ball. That's the second home run that Rogers has allowed in now 36 and 2/3 inning. 1-0 pitch. Swung on. Bounced to Parrish at third. Going on to Perez, and that's the inning. But Perez in the inning got a run on Bench's home run. No one left on base. There were no Montreal errors. And after 4 innings here at Riverfront, Montreal 3, Cincinnati 1. 4-inning totals show the Expos 3 runs, 5 hits, and 1 error. Apparently they charged Cromartie with 2 errors in the first inning on dropping the fly ball and then the bad throw over the head to allow Pete to move on to second base. So if you're scoring with us, charge Cromartie with 2 errors in that first inning. Reds 1 run, they've had 2 hits. Cromartie leads it off. Back to the action. Here's Marty.
Okay, Joe, the pitch to the leadoff batter is over for a call strike. Cromartie is 0 for 2. He's bounced to second and flied out to center field. The Reds trailing the Expos by a score of 3-1 as Montreal bats in the top of the 5th. They got a run in the second and then back-to-back 2-out 4th-inning home runs from Ellis Valentine and Larry Parrish. Swing, bouncing ball towards second. Morgan has it, and he throws on to Dreesen. 1 away. We'll bring up Davey Cash. He's hitless in 2 trips with a fly to center and a bouncer back to the box. Order your Cincinnati Reds yearbook by mail. Send $1.50 plus 50 cents postage to Reds Yearbook, Riverfront Stadium, Cincinnati. Cash batting .329 after going hitless his first 2 times in. The pitch to him is at the knees for a taken strike. Pete Rose will be coming to the plate in the bottom of the 5th inning. Strike 2 is called. Another good breaking ball. Hume quickly ahead of Cash at 2 strikes. Here's the pitch, and that's strike 3 swinging. Tommy Hume not fooling around at all with good hitting Davey Cash as he strikes him out swinging, and that for Hume is his 3rd strikeout. 2 away now for Andre Dawson. He looked at a call 3rd strike in the 1st inning and struck out again in the 3rd. Fastball is high. Hume with a 1-0 pitch. Strike is called. 1-1. Rose will be the 3rd batter up in the bottom of the inning. Following Geronimo and Hume, Pete had an infield hit in the 3rd, and he's 1 away. Just outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Dawson waving the bat around as Hume sights a sign and sends a pitch to the plate. Swung on and missed. 2-2. In the 4th at Yankee Stadium, New York 4, Texas nothing. That's 2 hot clubs involved in that series. The Rangers have won 7 straight. The Yankees have won 7 out of their last 8. That one bounces up and off the glove of Johnny Bench, and the count goes full. New York 4, Texas nothing in the 4th inning. In the 3rd, Milwaukee leads Kansas City 2-0. Sixto Lezcado has homered for the Brewers in that game. Now the 3-2 pitch, and bounce to the mound. Tommy stabs a high hop and throws him out. 3rd time in 5 innings that Hume has retired. The Expos in order, and at the end of 4.5, Montreal 3 and Cincinnati 1. A lot of great baseball is coming up for Reds fans this summer at Riverfront, so make your plans now to be on hand for all the action. Looking ahead, the Mets are here for a couple of weeknight games Monday and Tuesday. Then after the next road trip, the Reds are back home Friday, May 19th for the start of a weekend series with the Padres. After that, it's 3 games with the Braves. Check out the schedule and pick out the dates you want to see. And stop by the Reds ticket agency nearest you and purchase your seats in advance. Cesar Geronimo to kick off the home 5th inning as the Reds trail the Expos by 2 runs. We've had but 2 hits off the righty Steve Rogers. That infield hit by Rose in the 3rd, base hit number 2,999, and Johnny Bench's home run to deep left center in the 4th inning. Geronimo walked in the third. Rogers delivers, and Cesar takes the strike away. Geronimo batting .308, 2 homers, 13 runs batted in. He takes a breaking pitch in the dirt. He's one of 6 regulars hitting .300 or better with that .308 batting average. Foster came in as the top hitter on the club at .333. Griffey close behind at .330. Swing and a miss on a pitch up, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Tommy Hume kneeling on deck. Pete Rose, bat in hand, standing in the stairwell in the Cincinnati dugout. He will follow Hume to the plate. Strike 3 call. Rogers gets Geronimo looking at a curveball. That's the 5th strikeout for Rogers. Tommy Hume with a 3rd inning sacrifice. Tonight's scoreboard stumper, Pete Rose's goal is to become the all-time National League hit leader. Who holds that mark? One away, Reds batting in the 5th. Rogers working against his opposite number, Tom Hume, and he misses high with his first delivery. Ball 1. Right-hander delivers. Hume swings and he misses. Count even, 1 ball, 1 strike. Rogers trying to square his record on the year at 3-3 and send Hume down to his 4th straight loss after 2 opening wins. Strike 2 at the knees. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Rose over in the on-deck circle, adjusting his glove, waiting to bat following Tommy Hume, and there's strike 3 call on a curve. 2 away. And you hear the crowd in the background as Rose heads toward the plate for what well could be the biggest at-bat in his major league career. Base hit number 2,999 in the 3rd inning on a high chop that Rogers had but could not hang on to back of the mound. And now as you look around the wide expanse at his Riverfront Stadium, they are standing and applauding as Rose steps in, hoping to make it base hit number 3,000. Rogers winds and delivers, and Pete takes a high fastball. Ball 1. Rose leveling the bat. Rogers sights a sign from Carter, the 1-0 pitch. Swung on. Base hit. Pete Rose with base hit number 3,000 in his major league career as he lines a single to left. His teammates out of the dugout, Davey Concepcion, followed closely by pitcher Doug Capilla. First base coach Ron Plaza congratulating Rose, and now the other members of the Cincinnati Reds ball club going out to first base to shake Pete's hand. Dave Tomlin, Dale Murray, all of the Cincinnati Reds players congratulating Rose as a multitude of cameramen representing news media from all over the country are now congregating in the first base coaching box as Joe Morgan, probably Pete's closest friend in the ball club, comes up and gives his teammate a big hug. An historic moment here at Riverfront Stadium as Pete Rose, in typical number 14 fashion, lined a single to left field, and now standing beside his old teammate and longtime friend Tony Perez as the cameramen fire away down at first base. Rose going to the plate for the 9,645th regular season time in his major league career and comes up with his 3,000th base hit. Listen to this crowd in the background. It's unbelievable. They came tonight to see this man become the 13th player in major league history to get that 3,000th base hit. And he has not disappointed them by any stretch of the imagination. Joe, a big moment.
I got tears in my eyes.
Well, you look around this stadium, and I don't think there's any doubt about how the people in Cincinnati feel about this man. What a moment. emotional moment, a thrilling moment, all the adjectives that go into describing what kind of moment this is. And I don't know that words could adequately and justifiably describe and explain what is taking place right now at Riverfront Stadium. They are still standing. They are still applauding. I don't think there's a soul sitting in his or her seat right now. He said he would do it, and he did it.
Well, Marty, I'm sure Pete's glad it's over, and we are too, for Pete's sake, because I'll tell you one thing, that was a shot. It wasn't a flare or anything, but he hit that ball right on the button, and well, this crowd they just show how they appreciate Pete Rose, and not a more deserving person in this world than that man standing at first base right now. It's just a tremendous honor for him, and I think we can speak for every baseball fan, Dodger fan, Mets fan, Cub fan, and saying congratulations to Pete. I'm quite sure of that.
They don't want to sit down here. Steve Rogers throwing down to Gary Carter, trying to stay loose. The applause and recognition starting to die down just a bit as Ken Griffey had stepped into the batter's box, and now he has to step back out again. Rose standing with his arms crossed at first base after lining a single to left field to become the newest member of what is, in every sense of the word, the legendary 3,000-hit club. As Griffey steps in and Rogers throws the pitching rubber, the applause and the cheers begin anew. And we might tell you right now, for those who might have radios here in the stadium, that after the game tonight, this might be the earliest that we've ever announced who the star of the game will be. But Pete Rose will be the star of the game tonight, and you, Joe, will be interviewing Pete from the on-deck circle. It's going to be piped throughout the stadium for all the fans to hear.
Well, I'm looking forward to it, Marty. I'm sure we're going to have a lot of things to talk about.
Absolutely. Well, Griffey is in, and you can hear him start up again. Pete takes a short lead at first. Rogers delivers to the plate, and Griffey takes ball one. They have not settled back into their seats yet. What a moment here at Riverfront Stadium. Now the 1-0 pitch to Griffey, swung on, and that's fouled out of play. Joe, you wonder what could be going through a pitcher's mind. I'm sure it was not as startling as, who was it, Tracy Stallard that gave up Roger Maris' 61st home run, but
right.
Steve Rogers will be in the book for all time.
Well, he'll be on Pete's mantle, too.
He certainly will. 1-1 to count on Griffey with 2 down. That pitch is high. 2 balls and 1 strike. Two and 1 to count on Ken Griffey. 2 down in the bottom of the 5th inning. Montreal leading at 3-1. Here's a shot caught by Tony Perez. What a play. An absolute rocket shot, and Tony picked off the line drive, and that ends the inning, and now they start applauding again as Pete heads back toward the dugout to get his defensive tools and go back out to third base. In the inning, no runs on 1 base hit. That one, number 3,000. And 1 man left on. At the end of 5, the Reds trailing the Expos 3-1. Well, the excitement has died down to some degree, although you can expect Rose to get another standing ovation when he comes to the plate for the next time. We go to the top of the 6th inning, and Gary Carter, the Montreal catcher and cleanup batter, will be their leadoff hitter. Carter has walked and scored a run. He's also popped up to shortstop. The pitch to him is taken in the dirt for a ball. The answer to the scoreboard stumper tonight, the player who holds the National League record for most hits, is Stan Musial, who had 3,630. Pete, 630 base hits away from the National League record, and you can bet your bottom dollar he's going after that full bore. 2 balls and no strikes on Carter. Tommy Hume has had an up-and-down evening. Got the side out in order in the first, the third, and the fifth. There's ball 3. But allowed a run in the second inning on a walk to Carter, a single by Perez, and a 2-out base hit by Spire. And again ran into 2-out problems in the fourth inning, giving up home runs to Valentine and Parrish. There's ball 4, and Carter has walked for the second time. Here's Perez, 1 for 2 on the night with that single in the second. He bounced out to Rose in the fourth inning. Pitch, swing and a foul. If you're wondering, and might not already know the type of company that Pete Rose has just joined, check them out. Ty Cobb, Hank Aaron, Stan Musial, Tris Speaker, Hannes Wagner, Eddie Collins, Willie Mays, Nap Lajoie, Paul Wainer, Cap Anson, Al Kaline, and Roberto Clemente. Some heavyweight names among those first 12, and now Rose becomes 13. Ground ball third. Pete will go to Morgan, and that's all they'll get. Rose delivering a high throw to Joe that kept him from trying to get the double play on the throw to first base. But they cut down Carter, 5-4. One away in the inning for Ellis Valentine. He's 1 for 2 with that home run to right field in the fourth inning, his second home run of the season. Perez now the new runner at first as Hume waits for Valentine to get into the batter's box. Big Montreal right fielder ready. Tommy with a pitch, swung on, high fly ball. Right field. Griffey will have plenty of room to play this one, and he does. 2 out. Here's Larry Parrish. He hit the back end of those back-to-back home runs in the fourth inning. His was shot to straightaway left field, and it was his first of the season. The big brassy sounds of marching bands will fill Riverfront Stadium prior to the Reds-Padres game on Saturday, May 20th, as the Reds present the 4th annual High School Marching Band Festival. Be on hand. 2 out, 1 on, pitch, swung on, foul, straight back into the upper deck. Hume has given up 5 hits. Trails by 2 runs as Montreal hits in inning number 6. Now the 0-1 delivery, and that is in there for strike 2 call. In addition to Joe conducting his Star of the Game program tonight with Pete down on the on-deck circle, and the fact that it will be piped throughout the public address system here at the stadium for the benefit of our fans on hand, we'll be playing a tape replay of base hit number 3000 on our Scores and Comments program immediately following the Star of the Game show. So in case you were not tuned in at the time and missed it, we'll have a tape replay in our post-game show. 1-2, the count on Parrish. Here's a pitch. That strike 3 call, he got him looking with a curve at the knees. No runs, no hits. 1 man left on after 5.5. Montreal 3 and Cincinnati 1. You know, the Reds make it easy for fans to purchase tickets in advance, and one of the easiest ways is to order your tickets in advance by mail. Just check out the Reds schedule, and if you need a schedule, all you have to do is call or write the Reds office at Riverfront. To order tickets by mail is simple. Box seats are $5, reserved seats are $4. Send your check or money order payable to Cincinnati Reds, Box 1970, Cincinnati. Include 50 cents with each order for handling. Bottom of the 6th inning, Joe Morgan will start it off against Steve Rogers. The Reds staring at a 2-run deficit as they have been checked on 3 hits. But Pete Rose has had 2 of them to move into that exclusive 3,000 hit club. Morgan tonight is 0 for 2. He's lined out hard to right and looked at a call third strike. Rogers with a pitch and Joe with a swing and a line drive over first and down the right field line, base hit. Valentine goes to the corner to pick it up. Here's Morgan coming to second, and he will stop right there. I'll tell you, Joe could have gone to third base possibly on that ball. But it looked like he was a little bit slow going into second base. Valentine, moving out of our line of vision, quite obviously had trouble coming up with a baseball. As it is, Morgan begins the sixth inning with a double to right, and the batter is George Foster. George is due. He's grounded out to second and has been thrown out by the third baseman. Well, we've seen Pete get that 3,000th hit. I'm sure he wants to win this game more than anything else in the world right now, to have fond memories of this night all the way around. Foster looks at the strike. George hitting .327. And a chance to pick up his 14th run batted in. Morgan out at second base with a leadoff double to right. Rogers, a nod of the head on the sign flashed by Carter. As he starts into his stretch, George steps out of the box. Rogers ready to go once again. And his strike one pitch coming. Foster holds back, and it's a ball, 1-1. 1 ball and 1 strike on George Foster. Montreal with a run in the second. Back-to-back home runs in the fourth inning by Valentine and Parrish. Johnny Bench shot one out of here in the bottom of the fourth inning. His 6th of the year. And it's 3-1 Montreal. Again, Foster steps away. Apparently getting something in his right eye. Now signals to Jerry Dale that he wants to go back to the Cincinnati dugout, apparently to be helped along by trainer Larry Starr. Right outside the on-deck circle where Danny Dreesen stands, it's Larry Starr getting right up in the right eye of Foster, trying to find whatever it is that is causing George discomfort. So Rogers being forced to wait again on the mound. He was standing around and waiting for quite some time after Pete got the 3,000th hit with a single to left in the last inning. This crowd was simply beside itself with recognition of a truly great baseball player's career performance. Okay, George back at the plate. A 1-1 count. Morgan takes his lead out at second. Rogers pauses and pitches. Foster holds on a curve that's over for a strike, and George, who will rarely ever get verbal with an umpire, you can tell what he thinks about a call by his reaction at the plate, and that time he simply shook his head from side to side as if to say, no, I don't think that pitch was in the strike zone. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The pitch on the way, and Foster strikes out swinging. Rogers got him with a high fastball, and that for the Montreal right-hander is his 7th strikeout. 1 away, and Danny Dreesen. Pete was interesting in terms of his performance on Wednesday night. He said he really didn't want to get the 3,000th hit that night because his young son Pete was at home suffering from a cold. Well, we can tell you that little Pete was here tonight and got a chance to see his dad come up with a big base hit of his career. Dreesen now swings and dribbles one slowly down the third baseline, just trickled foul. Fortunately for Montreal, it went that way because Parrish, had he been able to come up with a ball, had it remained fair, would not have had any play whatsoever on getting Danny. Morgan started off this 6th inning with a double to right. Foster has struck out. Here's a strike 1 pitch, and now Rogers bluffs a throw back to second. Nobody was covering the bag, but Joe, not taking any chances, went quickly back into second. Pitch. Swung on, hammered back into left center field. Cromartie goes to the warning track. He makes the catch. And Morgan will have to go quickly back into second base. Danny hitting that ball a long way the other way as Cromartie picked it off just to the left of the 375 marker in left center. So Steve Rogers again battling to get out of an inning unscathed. He was able to do it in the first when Rose went to second on 2 errors by left fielder Warren Cromartie. Pete was left there as Rogers retired Griffey, Morgan, and Foster. Then in the third, we got a leadoff walk to Geronimo, a sacrifice by Hume, an infield base hit by Rose. But then Griffey grounded to Perez, Tony throwing Geronimo out at the plate, and Morgan struck out. Now with 2 down, here's a man who has accounted for our only run, Johnny Bench, with his 6th homer of the year in the 4th inning. Ball 1 is low and outside. Montreal has out-hit us 5-4. They've out-errored us 2-0 and have outscored us 3-1. Curve over, strike call. That has been a big pitch for Steve Rogers tonight. 1-1. Tomorrow afternoon, Tom Seaver goes against Rudy May. Not a 2:15 start on Uniform Shirt Day. Sunday, Wayne Twitchell and Hal Dews against Paul Moscow and a yet-to-be-named second Cincinnati starter. Bench shoots one that's fielded on a hop by Spire at short. He throws Johnny out, and that's the inning. So we waste a leadoff double by Morgan. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. We've completed 6, and Montreal leads at 3-1. We move on to the 7th inning, trailing the Expos 3-1, and we might tell you now the Reds have just made an announcement that Rose will be saluted for his rare achievement on the 21st of May, a Sunday afternoon prior to the Reds-Padres doubleheader, for getting his 3,000th hit tonight, and each fan coming to that twin bill will receive a free color mini poster capturing the event. So Rose will be saluted for reaching the 3,000 hit mark in ceremonies that will take place prior to the Reds-Padres doubleheader here at Riverfront on Sunday, May 21st. Right now, we move to the 7th inning. Chris Spire standing in, and back with a play-by-play. Here's Joe.
All right, Marty. Spire, 2 for 2 tonight, has driven in one of the 3 Montreal runs. He drove in the first run. That's coming in the 2nd inning. Then the Expos scored 2 in the 4th on back-to-back home runs by Ellis Valentine and Larry Perry. Hume delivers a called strike to Chris Spire. On 1 to count to Chris Spire. The Expos about hit the Reds 5-4. Lead 3-1. Tommy Hume delivers the 0-1, and Spire takes it just off the plate, a breaking ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Tommy has struck out 4 and walked 2. Spire swings, fly ball, center field. Going back, Geronimo. Still going, and he's there to make the one-handed catch. About 10 feet from the warning track. 1 away, and the batter, Steve Rogers. Rogers 0 for 2 has grounded to Dreesen, has grounded to Morgan in his 2 times up. Marty mentioning the mini poster. It'll be 24 inches by 16 inches of Pete's historic event here in baseball. A swing and a ground ball by Rogers into right field, a base hit. Hit number 6 for Montreal. One away, Rogers at first base, the left fielder Warren Cromartie to the plate. Cromartie tonight 0 for 3, has twice grounded to Morgan at second and a fly ball to Geronimo in center in his 3 times up. Hume sets and delivers. Cromartie bounces it. Morgan off to his left. Has it, throws back to Concepcion, and they force Rogers. Two away now, and Cromartie at first base. And the batter's Dave Cash. Dale Murray throwing in the Reds bullpen. Montreal with the names on the back of their jerseys, first time. Cromartie leads at first, Hume the stretch. Delivers, Cash looks at it, a pitch out, and nothing going on. The bench moving out to his right, but the ball back to his left. The 1-0 pitch. Swung on, ground ball by Morgan into right field, a base hit. Cromartie is second. He'll hold right there as Griffey charges hard. Hit number 7 for the Expos. 2 away, and runners at first and second. And the batter is Andre Dawson. Dawson 0 for 3, twice has struck out. Dale Murray loosening in the Reds bullpen. And Bonson showing in the Montreal bullpen. Dawson swings on the first pitch and chops it foul to Billy Gardner in the first base coaching box. Cromartie second base, Cash at first. On 1 the count to Andre Dawson. Hume to the belt, delivers. Owen outside, a breaking ball, 1-1. The 1-1. Low and dug out of the dirt by Bench. 2 balls to strike. Outfield straight away to Dawson. Rose deep at third. 2-1 delivery. Swung on. That's bounced to Dreesen. Danny has it. Underhands to Hume. And a close play as Hume more or less took his time. And I'll tell you, he wasn't out by more than an inch, it looked like. So the inning is over. The Expos, no runs. They get a couple of hits. So no errors and 2 runners left on base. Middle of the 7th. Montreal 3, Cincinnati 1. Couple of changes in the Expo lineup. A new second baseman. It's Pepe Frias, and in left field they have Sam Mejias replacing Warren Cromartie. Frias replacing, of course, Dave Cash at second base. For the Reds in the inning, the bottom 3 in the order: Concepcion, Geronimo, and I'm sure a pinch hitter for Tommy Hume. It looks like it could be Mike Lum or Dave Collins. So Dave Concepcion will lead it off. We need 2 to get even. Dave 0 for 2 has struck out and bounced to Parrish at third base in his 2 times up. David hitting .282. He's had a home run and 12 RBIs. Outfield will play Concepcion straight away. Mejias in left field. Now he's pulled more towards center now. A lot of room down the left field line. The pitch, that's a bit high a ball. The Reds have had 4 hits of Steve Rogers, 1 in each of the last 4 innings. 1 run, Johnny Bench's 6th home run of the year in the 4th inning. Rogers to the plate. A strike called. 1-1. Dale Murray throwing on the Cincinnati bullpen. Rogers delivers the 1-1 and a curveball. That's just under the knees. I think Gary Carter wanted that pitch. 2 balls to strike. Two-1 delivery, swung on, and a 2 bouncer to Spire short. Chris is still on to Perez, 1 out. One down, and Geronimo, the batter. Base are 0 for 1. He walked in the second inning, was called out on strikes in the fifth. Rogers works, and Geronimo swings and fouls. Dave Collins will go to the plate to hit for Tommy Hume. On 0-1 the count to Geronimo. Rogers checking with Carter, has the sign. And the 0-1. Check swing, and is it high? They check with third base umpire Bob Engel, and now they look down, and he gives the safe sign, no swing. Count even, 1-1. Rogers had walked just one through the first 6 in the third innings. Geronimo swings and misses the next pitch, and it's 1-2. Rogers has struck out 6. Carter hangs the sign, and the 1-2 to the Chief. Swung on and fouled the breaking ball. Well, I know there's one more wish for Pete, and that's to win this ball game tonight to make it even more rewarding. 1 ball, 2 strikes as Rogers delivers. That misses outside. Not even 2-2. Rogers trying to get Geronimo on the same pitch that he got him on in the 5th inning. Ball's third strike, dropping the curve on the outside corner. Not even at 2-2, and Rogers shakes off his sign. And the 2-2. Fastball is high. Full count now to the Chief. Payoff on the way, and that's ball 4, high and outside. The second walk issued by Rogers, and the second time he has walked Geronimo. So with 1 away, Geronimo at first base, and now it's going to be Mike Lum to hit for Tommy Hume. Collins was on deck, but with the runner on base, Sparky changes to Lum, who is a long ball threat. Lum looking for his first hit of the 78 season. Mike 0 for 5 this year, and pinch hitting. Lum 0 for 4. No Mike do. Pete Rose on deck. Darrell Knowles and a right-hander throwing down in the Montreal bullpen. The right-hander, as we said, looks like Stan Bonson. The Reds with a tying run at the plate, and Mike Lum hitting for Tommy Hume. Rogers the stretch and the pitch, and Lum takes it high, a ball. Well, usually with Rogers, we get to him in the late innings, and maybe this is the start. His 3-5 lifetime against the Reds. 1-0 pitch to Lum. That's on the outside corner, called strike. 1-1. Montreal outfield, particularly Dawson in center, pulled around to the right. The 1-1 to Lum. That's outside. 2 balls to strike. Rose on deck, time called now, and Jim Brewer, the Montreal pitching coach, makes his way out to the mound to have a word with Rogers. While he's there, we'll pause for station identification. This is the Cincinnati Reds Baseball Network.
This is WKTG Madisonville.
All right, Brewer back to the Montreal dugout. The meeting breaks up. Carter, Parrish, and Rogers along with Brewer, and the count 2-1 to Mike Lum with Geronimo at first base. The Expos leading 3-1. Bonson and Knowles throwing in the Montreal bullpen. Rogers has the sign to the belt and the 2-1 delivery. Swung on, a broken bat ground ball to Parrish at third. He goes to Frias to throw back to first, gets by Perez, but Lund will not be able to advance. So Mike trying to check his swing, breaks his bat and grounds to Parrish as Geronimo is forced at second base. So 2 away, and here's Pete again. Pete, of course, 2 for 3. He's been on all 3 times tonight. Reached on an error in the first inning. An infield single in the third. A ball chopped off the plate, but Rogers fielded it and dropped it. And then a line drive for number 3,000 to left field his last time up in the 5th inning. Tony Perez playing behind Lum at first base. Rogers delivers and Rose takes inside a ball. Right now, Pete Rose tied with Roberto Clemente in the all-time hit list at 3,000. His next plateau would be Al Kaline, who has 3,007. The pitch. Rose swings and fouls, 1-1. Well, Pete could move all the way beyond Warner at 3,152 this year. One and one to count. Lum at first leads. Rogers sets and delivers. That's low and inside and in the dirt, blocked by Gary Carter. 2-1 to count. Montreal with a 3-1 lead. The Reds with Lum at first base and 2 out. Kind of odd that the first man, of course, that Pete reached after his 3,000th hit was his good friend Tony Perez at first base. 2-1 delivery. Swung on, bounced up the middle, and Spire has it going on to Perez, and that's the inning. Spire behind the bag at second to throw out Rose, and in the inning, the Reds, no runs, no hits, no errors. A runner left on base. The end of 7. Montreal 3, Cincinnati 1. 7-inning totals show the Expos with 3 runs on 7 hits and 2 errors. The Reds a run, 4 hits, no errors. New pitcher on the mound for the Reds, and to tell you about him, here's Marty.
Okay, Joe, the new pitcher is right-hander Dale Murray. After Tommy Hume goes 7, he allows 7 hits and 3 runs with 4 strikeouts and a couple of walks. And Murray now in to relieve for the 11th time this season. He has won a game, no losses, and a 346 earned run average. So it's Dale's job to hold him right here and hope that in our next 2 turns against Rogers or whoever it might be, we can come up with the necessary run production to pull this one out. Rogers has been tough tonight. Still, we've got 2 shots at him. Here's Gary Carter as we go to the bottom, the top of the 8th, and the first pitch is high and inside for ball 1. Carter has walked twice. He has scored a run officially. He's 0 for 1, popping to short back in the 4th inning. High inside again, ball 2, 2-0. Dale, of course, pitching against his former club. Coming over to the Reds in between the 1976 and 1977 seasons for Tony Perez and Will McEnany. Now the 2-0 delivery, and this one is popped in the air off the first base foul line, but it'll go out of play. 2 balls and 1 strike. Johnny Bench heading slowly back toward the plate as he gave chase on the foul pop off Carter's bat. Tony Perez on deck. 2 balls and a strike. Dale in with a pitch, and Carter takes a strike at the letters. 2-2. Nobody has scored since the 4th inning, when Montreal got back-to-back home runs from Valentine and Parrish, and Johnny Bench homered to left center field for Cincinnati. 2-2 the count. The pitch on the way, and missing outside with a fastball. 3-2. Murray toes the pitching rubber. Looks for the sign, gets it, delivers a payoff pitch, and this one's popped up on the infield. Danny Dreesen moving in toward the mound, waiting, and makes the catch. 1 down as Carter pops up on a payoff, and the batter will be Tony Perez. Tony is single, grounded out, and reached on a fielder's choice. In the 7th in Pittsburgh, Dodgers lead the Pirates 6-1. L.A. scored 5 in the first inning off of Bert Blyleven, 2 of them on Dusty Baker's 2nd home run of the season. So the Reds need to win this game because it looks like L.A. is going to win another one. Tony takes it low, ball 1. We start out tonight a game back with the Reds 14-9, Los Angeles 15-8. That's a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. In the 8th inning in Atlanta, the Braves lead Houston 4-2. In the 6th inning in Philadelphia, Phil's 7, the Mets 1. So this game an important one for Montreal. They want to stay in first place. Swing and a miss.
How do you think that was Dale's hard for ball? I think Tony's saying, now wait a minute now. A little moisture there.
Tony back in there, and quite obviously never seen Dale throw that one before, and he struck him out swinging. That looked like a bad pitch. And it was another fork ball that he got out away from Perez and down, and Murray has his first strikeout. 2 away in the 8th for Montreal, and the batter is Ellis Valentine. He has flied out, homered, and flied out again. Both times his fly balls have been caught by Ken Griffey. He hit the first of those back-to-back 4th inning homers that continue to loom bigger and bigger in this game. There's a pitch inside, ball 1. Again, we invite you to stay tuned. After our game is completed here, Joe will be interviewing Pete Rose on our Star of the Game show. Ground ball slapped down the third baseline foul. And Pete tonight collecting 2 base hits to reach the 3,000 hit plateau, only the 13th man in Major League history to accomplish the feat. Murray with Valentine, 1-1. The wind to pitch. That is shot foul and out of play to the right. Dale facing around the mound. Boy, the Cincinnati bullpen has just been so very impressive this season. Doug Baer, no wins or losses, has not given up a run in 13 2/3 innings. This one's fouled back. Of course, it's been a different type of Dale Murray we have seen so far this season. Manny Sarmiento, 9 relief appearances, given up 2 runs in 20 1/3 innings. Dave Tomlin, he's been outstanding. In the wake of the problems the Reds have had with their starting pitching, it has made the relief corps even more important. Here's a drive to deep left center field. Foster heads toward the warning track, cannot run it down. Valentine coasting into second base with a 2-out double. Base hit number 8 for Montreal. And that'll keep the inning going for Larry Parrish. Parrish with a home run is only hit in 3 trips. So So Valentine having a good night with a home run and now a double. The pitch to Parrish, high, ball one. This is only the 6th game the Reds have played against Eastern Division competition. We won 3 and lost 2, winning 2 out of 3 in New York and splitting a 2-game series with the Phillies earlier this week. 2 balls, no strikes. Fastball low. Well, the Mets coming in on Monday night for a 2-game series. Next Wednesday night, the Reds will be in Detroit to play the Tigers in that city's version of the Kid Glove game. Ground ball, base hit center field. Here comes Valentine rounding third. He's going to come onto the plate. And Montreal comes up with a big 8th inning run to now take a 3-1 run lead at 4-1. Every one of the Montreal runs in this game have come after the first 2 men have been retired. In the second, a 2-out single by Spire scored Carter. In the fourth, 2-out homers by Valentine and Parrish. And now here in the 8th, after Murray had popped up Carter and struck out Perez, Valentine doubles, and Parrish bangs him in with a single to center. Chris Spire has had a couple of hits. He's knocked in a run. Strike one call. High inside. Spire talking with the plate umpire Jerry Dale as he gets back in the batter's box. 2 balls, 1 strike. Now the stretch and now the pitch. That's a call, strike away. 2-2. Rogers on deck. Both bullpens right now quiet. Montreal had them up and working in the 7th inning. That pitch misses down and in. The count goes full. Three balls and 2 strikes. Danny Dreesen will stay on the first base bag. Trying to keep Parrish as close as he can, and apparently, well, the count 2-2, not 3-2. See if that's correct. Apparently it is. I think Spire's a little bit confused over what the count is, but we will assume it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Dreesen on the bag with Parrish leading. Here comes a pitch, and that's way outside. That's ball 3. Attendance here at Riverfront tonight, 37,823. 37,823. I would think that as the years roll by and people start talking about witnessing Pete Rose's 3,000th hit, the number that will tell you here's ball 4 as a runner breaks, that number will swell considerably in future years, as it obviously has done for all those people who claim to have seen you break in when you were 15 years old. It would take a stadium bigger than the Roman Coliseum to house all the people who saw you.
You're very, very right about that, Marty. I'm sure that a lot more people are here, will be here 20 years from now than there are here now. And, of course, there's 37,823.
Right. Dale Murray finding that 3rd out in the 8th very elusive as he deals to pitcher Steve Rogers, ball 1. He got the first 2 men out with relative ease, but then Valentine doubled. Parrish drove him in with a single to center, and now a walk has gone to Chris Spire. Rogers, he's chipped in with a single tonight. He swings and he misses. 1 ball, 1 strike. Montreal leading at 4-1. They've got Parrish at second, Spire at first, and the 1-1 coming to Rogers, and that's strike 2 swinging. A ball and 2 strikes. Again, Gentlemen will tell you that Pete Rose will be saluted for his rare achievement tonight on the 21st of May, Sunday, prior to the Reds-Padres doubleheader. Here's a ground ball slapped to second. Morgan has it. He guns down Rogers, and that's the inning. Montreal gets a run on a couple of hits. They strand a pair, and after 7 1/2, the Expos lead the Reds 4-1. Reds are running out of time. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning, trailing now by 3, and Dick Williams, the Montreal skipper, has made another defensive change. Del Unser has replaced Tony Perez at first base. This is something that Williams has done almost without exception this season, changing defensively at 3 positions when he's got the lead late in the game. Unser will go to first, as he has just done, but earlier we have seen Pepe Frias replace Davey Cash at second, and the left fielder, Sam Mejias, replacing Warren Cromartie. We've got Ken Griffey to lead off the bottom of the 8th. He, without a hit and 3 times up, but twice has hit the ball hard. In the first, he lined to left. In the 5th, he lined out to first base. Rogers has been in command most of the way, having limited the Reds to but 4 base hits, and that 1 run, the homer by Johnny Bench. Here's a pitch to Griffey. It's taken for a strike. Really, the Reds have been very up or very down. We lose 12-1 Monday night to the Phillies and come back Wednesday night to beat them 12-3. Here's a bouncer foul at first base, and now tonight held to a scant 4-hit total. You've got to give credit to the pitchers, because Rogers has pitched well in this game, and certainly the same could be said for the performance we saw from Steve Carlton, the Philadelphia left-hander, here Monday night. Knowles and Bonson stay ready in the Montreal bullpen, a left-hander and a right-hander. High fastball, 1-2. Rogers trying to get his 3rd win of the year and his 2nd complete game in. Strike 3 call. He got Kenny with a fastball in. And Griffey will stay around and argue the call with Jerry Dale, but nevertheless, that's going to be the 8th strikeout for Mr. Rogers. One down for Morgan, who led off the 6th inning with a double to right field. He's 1 for 3. A 2-base hit for Joe was his 10th of the year. And he leads the National League in that department, high and outside, ball 1. In fact, he had entered tonight's game in a 3-way tie, along with Montreal's Larry Parrish and New York's Lee Mazzilli. Morgan now has 10. Those 2 players still have 9. Swung on, line drive, base hit right center. Soft liner, falling in for a hit. Making the pickup is Dawson, and Morgan has his 2nd hit as Foster comes to the plate. Oh for 3 night for George with 2 bounce outs and a strikeout. Now Chris Spire moving in from shortstop to get together verbally with Rogers behind the mound. Another update in the National League in the 6th. The Padres are shutting out St. Louis 2-0. Randy Jones against John Urea. Now Rogers wants a new baseball. We need 3 to get even. Morgan is single with 1 down. Now let's see what Foster does here against Rogers. Stretching the pitch. George swings and he misses. Strike 1. Frias shading Foster toward the 2nd base tag. Big gap on the right side of the infield. That's a bounder hit to 2nd base. Frias will go to the shortstop Spire. The throw to first late, and a Montreal bid for the double play. Morgan cut down on the ground ball off Foster's bat. Here's Danny Dreesen. This could well be his final time up to extend a hitting streak to 10 straight games. Struck out, popped up, and fly to deep left center. Ball one. With two away, Unser was playing off the bag and deep at first base. Well, Foster pretty much getting a free rein in terms of the type lead he would take. Call strike, 1-1. Rogers taking his time. Now with a motion and now with a pitch. He missed with that one, and that pitch looked pretty much the same type of pitch and location that Ken Griffey was called out on. 2-1 the count on Dreesen. 2 away in the Cincinnati eighth with Foster at first. Danny hits one deep to right center field. You can chalk that one up. Danny Dreesen has just taken Steve Rogers downtown, and I mean he got every last inch of it. A rocket out of here to right center field, and it's a 4-3 ball game on Danny's fourth long ball of the year. So Dreesen extends his hitting streak to 10 games in a big way. A 2-run homer, we're still a run shy. Here's Johnny Bench. He hit one out of here in the fourth inning to left center. He bounces this one foul and to the Montreal dugout. Reds came into this game leading the National League in home runs with 25, one more than L.A. Now, Dusty Baker has cracked one for the Dodgers tonight. The Reds have hit 2. So Cincinnati's still leading the league, 27 to L.A.'s 26. Bench swings and he misses, strike 2. And the team batting average coming into this one of 286 was second in the league only to the Dodgers, who have been hitting at a 292 clip. 2-run homer by Dreesen. The Reds one short. Montreal leading at 4-3. Rogers in with a 2-strike pitch to Bench. John hits it foul off the end of the bat. Well, they flash it on the board, the special announcement that we gave to you earlier, inviting the fans here in the stadium to remain in their seats after the game and listen to the live interview conducted by Joe Nuxall with Pete Rose, which will be piped over the public address system. Here's the 0-2 pitch again. John takes it high for a ball. 1-2. Davey due up next. If Bench can become a 2-out base runner, Rogers with a count advantage. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The pitch on the way to the plate. John fouls this one back, and JB hanging tough. He is off to some kind of start. 302 batting average, 6 home runs already. And 15 runs batted in. Of course, the home run leader in the league is Rick Mundy, who also leads in runs batted in with 24, home runs with 9. Then strikes out swinging on a breaking ball. In the inning, 2 runs on 2 hits. And at the end of 8 complete, Montreal 4 and Cincinnati 3. Okay, we're in the top of the 9th inning. Dale Murray getting ready to work in his second frame in relief, and he'll be dealing with the top of the Montreal batting order. We were looking down in the seats just behind home plate during the commercial break, and I would imagine that the most popular young lady in this ballpark right now is one Carolyn Rose, Pete's wife, who is being continuously congratulated by fans down in the box seats behind home plate for her husband's feat tonight. Let me mention the fact that little Pete was not able to be here on Wednesday night, suffering with a cold. He is here tonight, as is his sister Fawn and Carolyn, so the entire Rose family was here to see a most memorable evening for Pete Rose and for Cincinnati Reds fans all over the country. Pepe Frias batting in the leadoff spot. He came into the game in the bottom of the 7th inning to play second base, and he'll begin the 9th for Montreal. Murray giving up that run in the 8th, and that's the one now that has Montreal out in front. Frias swings and he misses at a pitch down and away. Pepe batting, well, he's batting 1,000. He's appearing in his 13th game, but he's been to the plate but one time and has a hit, not a double. He swings and misses, strike 2. You're looking ahead to the bottom of the 9th. Cincinnati will have the lower third of its batting order. Concepcion, Geronimo, and certainly a pinch hitter for Dale Murray. 2 strikes to count on Frias. He bounces one off the bat handle to Dreesen. Danny will lead Murray with a throw, and on the bag, the pitcher gets a put out, 1 away. Coming to the plate now will be left fielder Sam Mejias. Mejias 0 for 6 on the year. The Expos over the Reds, 4-3. We're in the 9th inning. Mejias, a right-hand batter, takes the strike. Andre Dawson on deck. Murray comes to bench with a pitch, and that's way outside. It skips by John and rolls all the way back. 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. The Reds in 1-run games this season. Well, we've played 8. We've won 5 and lost 3. There's a call strike, 1-2. Tomorrow afternoon, 2:15 start time. Tom Seaver for the Reds, Rudy May for the Expos. And again, we'll tell you that all seats have been sold for tomorrow afternoon's uniform short day game. Although plenty of seats are available for the Sunday doubleheader between the two clubs. Murray ahead in pitching. Missing high and inside, 2-2. The Red Stadium ticket office will place on sale a limited number of standing room tickets for tomorrow's game beginning at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. Once this supply is exhausted, no more standing room will be sold. Strike 3 call. Got him looking at a fastball. Murray has picked up his second strikeout. Go to work now on Andre Dawson, hitless and 4 times up. Twice he has struck out. Once he's bounced to the mound, and in the 7th inning he grounded out first baseman to the pitcher covering. Here's a pitch. Strike 1 call. 4th ball. Murray deals at the knees to the taking Dawson. Swung on, ground ball to first. Dreesen has it. Again, he'll play to Murray, and that's the inning. 3 up and 3 down. We go to the 9th inning, needing 1 or more. At the end of 8 1/2, Montreal 4 and Cincinnati 3. Dick Williams again has the right-hander Bonson and the left-hander Knowles loosening up in his bullpen, while Sparky Anderson has instructed Doug Baer to go down and begin throwing. We need a run to even it up as we come to bat in the home 9th inning, and it'll be Dave Concepcion to stand in for openers. Davey is 0 for 3 on the night with a strikeout and 2 ground balls on the infield. Here comes Rogers, and David takes it below the knees. A ball. What do you say we come back and win this one? Get a couple on in scoring position and let Mr. Rose get the game-winning base hit. Does that cap off a big night or not? Swung on and hit in the air to right field. Valentine hardly moving out of his tracks as he draws a bead on it and gathers it in. So Rogers comes up with that all-important out to the first man he faces, and he'll work now to Cesar Geronimo. The Chief has walked twice, and in his only official plate appearance has struck out on a called third strike in the fifth. Dave Collins will bat for Dale Murray. Geronimo with a bat handle foul out of play to the left. Strike one. A win by Montreal would allow them to remain in first place by at least a half game, and should Philadelphia blow that big lead it has, the Expos could open it up even more, while the Reds, if they lose, could drop two back of the Dodgers because L.A. is winning big in Pittsburgh. Strike two call. No balls, two strikes. Geronimo strikes out swinging, and that allows Rogers to go to double figures. He has struck out 10 batters in the game. So Steve Rogers has it in his mind not to allow the Reds to even threaten in the ninth inning, and now Gary Carter goes to the mound, and Dick Williams is out of the Montreal dugout to talk with his pitcher. As the third baseman Parrish, a shortstop Spire, the second baseman Frias also come into the mound to join in on the conversation. It's up to Dave Collins to try and get on by whatever means is offered to him to allow the Reds to continue batting in the ninth. Williams back to the Montreal dugout. Dave Collins batting .167. He's 2 for 12, and as a pinch hitter, he's 1 for 10. That base hit came in Dodger Stadium a couple of weeks ago. Now Davey has flied to right. Geronimo has struck out. Collins hitting for Murray. Takes a high fastball. Larry Parrish playing inside the bag and close to the line at third. This Montreal club is well schooled on the rapid running ability of Mr. Collins. Check swing, slow ground ball to the right side. Frias has it. He throws Collins out, and that's the game. In the ninth inning, Rogers sets the Reds down in order, and Montreal, in the opening game of this four-game series, hangs on to post a 4-3 victory. We'll be back in just a moment. Well, the frosting was not added to the cake tonight. Despite Pete Rose coming up with his 3,000th hit, the 13th man ever in big league history to do it, Montreal still comes up with the all-important victory. Despite Steve Rogers giving up a couple of home runs, he wins it by 1, 4-3. 4 runs, 9 hits, 2 errors, and 8 left on for the Expos. The Reds had 3 runs, 6 hits, errorless ball, and they stranded 6 men on base. Rogers squares his record at 3-3. Tommy Hume suffers his 4th consecutive defeat, and his record now stands at 2 wins and 4 losses. Game 2 of the series coming up tomorrow afternoon. We'll be back to tell you about the starting pitchers in that one when we continue in just a moment. Uniform shirt day at Riverfront tomorrow. Again, the reminder, all seats have been sold, but a limited number of standing room only tickets will go on sale at the Red Stadium ticket office at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. Tom Seaver will try to break his personal slump as he shoots for his first victory against the veteran Rudy May, who will enter the game with a record of 2-1. 2:15 will be the game time. Our air time for Reds Radio, 1:45 Cincinnati time on most of these same stations. This copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority of Cincinnati Reds Incorporated and is intended solely for the private non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the descriptions and accounts of this game without the express written consent of Cincinnati Reds Incorporated is prohibited. And now on most of these same stations, stay tuned for Joe Nuxall with the star of the game show, and his guest tonight, of course, will be Pete Rose. Once again, the final score, Montreal 4 and Cincinnati 3.
The Reds on Radio with Marty Brenneman and Joe Nuxall.
The 1978 Cincinnati Reds have been brought to you by the Stroh Brewery Company. Stroh's, from one sports lover to another. And by your local Marathon full-service dealers and distributors. Follow the Cincinnati Reds and tune in next time for the Reds on Radio on this, the Cincinnati Reds Baseball Network.
We're back at Riverfront Stadium where the Reds this evening lost to the Montreal Expos by a score of 4-3. But a historic event here this evening. Pete Rose in the fifth inning got his second hit of the ball game, number 3,000 in his career. And Pete standing alongside of us. Pete, from all these folks here in Riverfront and all the Cincinnati Reds fans and baseball fans throughout the world, we congratulate you.
Well, thank you, Joe. Very unusual to be out here for a star of the game when the ball club lost, because you just don't pick the guys when we lose the ball game. And it was a great game tonight, and we left a couple guys on base when we should have scored. And you people out there got me going tonight when I walked up there the first time, and I was stimulated. And thank you.
Pete, stimulated, I think it stimulated everybody in this ballpark. You did, of course, walking up the first time. But as you came to the ballpark tonight, what was your thought?
Well, my back was hurting to begin with. I know I'm swinging the bat pretty good right now, Joe, and I'm usually swinging the bat. Don't matter which way I'm batting, I usually get my base hits. But when I walk into the clubhouse every night, my utmost objective is to win the baseball game. And we got a team here, Montreal, that's in first place in the Eastern Division, so we had our work cut out for us. And I knew I was going to get 2 hits sooner or later. But, the fans here have been so great to me over the 15 years I've been here, and I just was glad to get it tonight. Get over with.
We'll be back with more with Pete Rose after this word. Pete Rose, our star of the game tonight, of course. And Pete with his 3,000th base hit of his career. And Pete, you move into a 13th, or become the 13th man to reach that plateau. You're tied for 12th. And as you look at the list, you've mentioned one of your goals is to surpass Stan Musial.
Well, I think body-wise, I think I could play 3 or 4 more years. And it's going to take 2 or 3 more strong years. And a strong year to me is to play 150 games or more. And, I'm on an offensive team here at Cincinnati. I got a lot of great teammates. And
a little activity here. Uh-oh. Well, the ground crew gets him, and Pete to carry on with the question.
Bengals are going to sign that guy up. But, Joe, I'm very fortunate to be on an offensive team here. We got a lot of great hitters in Cincinnati, and they give me the at-bats, and I can swing the bat a little bit, so I'm going to get the hits. And I just hope we can go on and win the Western Division now for the great fans.
Pete, let's go over your times at bat tonight. Of course, the first time up, you hit the ball extremely well to Warren Cromartie in left field.
I thought the ball got no lights on him, but what happened, he closed his glove where the ball got to him, and I saw him overthrowing the second base, and that's why I went on to second. And the next time I popped one off the plate, but I don't think Rogers would have threw me out on that one. And the next one, I got a base hit to left field, and the next one I ground up a ball up the middle. That was the best pitch I had to hit all night.
When you think of Steve Rogers, Pete, have you had success against him in the past?
Yeah, I've been pretty good against Steve Rogers in Montreal, and Steve's a fine pitcher, and usually if you get a couple men on, you can score some runs off of him, but tonight he closed the door on us. He only gave us up 6 hits, and you can't win many ball games with 6 hits.
Pete, the second base hit you got, you walked to the plate, you asked the umpire, Jerry Dale, to check the baseball out.
I told him I wanted a good ball because I was going to get a hit. I don't want no dirty ball. And they checked the ball, and they kept the same ball out there because the Hall of Fame wants the ball, and I wanted a good ball. I wanted to be able to reach up Beanie's name on the ball. The grass is wet, the AstroTurf's wet out there anyway, and I told Jerry, I said, Jerry, give me a good ball out there. I'm going to get a knock.
And you did?
Yeah.
But I noticed something that is not a habit with you. The first pitch that Rogers threw, you seemed to be relaxed, and certainly the fans here were cheering on their feet. And it looked like you just said, well, I'm just going to kind of take...
I was just trying to relax myself a little bit all night. I didn't swing at the first pitch at all. And I just was trying to get relaxed up there, and Carter was talking to me. And then when I got the first base after I got the second hit, the big dog grabbed me down there. And that was great because, he's been my best friend in baseball, and we started playing together in 1960. And he handed me the ball.